Andy Johnston, man, myth, legend of Northwestern theater. But he wasn't always a legend.
First years of college were terrible, absolutely horrible. I had no friends. I rarely saw my family. And did I mention I had no friends?
Eventually, Andy found theater which would become his home. However, he didn't realize this right away.
Basically, one night I had some lines I had to memorize for a scene in advanced acting from Tartuffe. I didn't memorize the lines, came to class the next day, and basically tried to improvise the entire scene. After the class, I got a talking to by Nick Freeman, and basically it was sort of a do or die offer, which was basically either get with the program or drop the class. You know, I kind of thought it over and I was like, well, I want to act. And I knew I wanted to be a theater in general, so I ended up dropping everything else I was involved in, and that's when theater became number one.
Things started out rough for Andy, but after eventually finding his place in the theater department, he made a name for himself. Not on the stages of Maranatha Hall, but here, in the Patsy Miller Studio Theater.
The transformation for me and how I perceived of Andy's gifts and skills, and I think his own growing interest came probably bathrobes a year ago.
And I realized that I wanted to try and write and direct one of them. I ended up writing a really terrible script for my first try, but the second one I did was much better. It was called Joy of Grieving, and it went well. Looking back on it, I don't know if that's the play I would write or direct again, but I enjoyed it for what it was. And then from there, I directed The American Dream, which moderately successful, lots of blood, a couple of angry phone calls. Worth it, though.
He devours this stuff. He lives and breathes it. He thinks like a director. He's meticulous. His attention to detail and his respect for how the story is told in detail was terrific. Don't see that in a lot of early directors.
That I was with.
Nate Lechner reporting for Eagle 7 Power News.